Welcome, folks, to the Dipping Fries podcast. I'm your host, host one, I should say, FRYGUY. Today I'm joined with the Dipperson 147th edition. Dip, how are you? Oh, that little rascal. Hits me every time. Well, today, folks, I hope you got your purts ready. If you know, you know. Because we got a episode for you tonight. Today? I don't.
Sorry, whoopsie. Whoopsie.
This guy, funny. I'm sure many of you, I'm sure most of our audience is from China. Good morning.
I'm sure most of our audience is from China.
Yeah, that's probably why their comments are getting, restricted or something. It's because they're speaking in a language, and it's just like, YouTube's like, war, and it's just like, nah, you're a spam account. But most of our audience is Chinese, so we're very popular in Chinese YouTube, if people didn't know. So, yep, we've got a banger episode today. We're finally talking about it. We're finally discussing about it. The FNAF movie. Let's go.
I don't know why you're saying "let's go" and clapping. It wasn't that good.
No. I'm not talking about it being good. I'm clapping because we're finally talking about it. Because we said months ago we were going to talk about the FNAF movie, and even on the episode where we talked about FNAF, we didn't talk about the FNAF movie. So this time
it wasn't out yet, and we also forgot.
It was not out yet. That is true. It was not out yet. But it's out. It's out now, so it's still in theaters. Interestingly, I feel like they should count box office numbers like the week after the first week. Then you can really see how bad a movie is. You know what I mean?
They should count them for both weeks.
Yeah.
I get that's more effort, but it makes more sense that way.
Yeah, because I haven't heard anybody talk about one ticket for the FNAF movie, please. I haven't heard that recently.
Dude, imagine like someone walks up and I don't know. I just can't imagine saying that. I can't say one ticket for the FNAF movie. I just say, can I have a ticket for Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah, honestly.
Because the fucking guy at working is not gonna know what the hell the FNAF movie is. You're gonna have to.
It's gonna be some old guy, and he's like, "What again, son?" And I said, "One ticket for the FNAF movie." What is a FNAF?
Yeah.
What do you think matpat said? One ticket for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, or one ticket for the FNAF movie?
It would be really funny if he just pirated it the same way we did.
Yeah. I think he did mention that he did go to see. Well, I think he did say that he went to go see the movie though. But us real men, all right, us real people, us real folks, real OGs, we pirated that sucker. All right, you think we're gonna actually go over there and see the movie, spend good money to see a movie that mid?
I have large muscles.
Yeah, we both do. Incredibly huge muscles. So we pirated that sucker. We saw it. And if the FBI is watching this, we plead the fifth. In Minecraft.
Dude, I'm just imagining these two really large buff guys crouching over on a laptop.
Their hands are small, hands are huge. They have a tiny keyboard. So they have to type with one finger.
Their hands are the size of the screen, and they're
We pirated that sucker. Yeah, we're going to talk about the FNAF movie. So, first and foremost, Dip, I already know your opinion on it, so I don't need to ask. But, you want to talk about what you dislike about the movie?
Well, it was, I'm not gonna lie, man. I understand why it's not rated R. But it doesn't have to be rated R to be scary.
Yep.
And I feel like that's the first seriously egregious thing, is that it's just not scary.
Nope.
At all.
It's a movie.
They had the first scene, and they were kind of going in the right direction. But
I think that whole thing was
it just didn't hit hard enough, right? I mean, so even when you do have the scenes where it's more disturbing and the fucking girl gets bitten in half, it's just it doesn't really have that effect, the tension isn't really high enough.
Yeah, and then you forget
And I
about it.
feel like for a movie like this, it seriously like drags on it a little bit.
Yeah, true, true. Um, the first scene with like where he gets like his face shredded off or something was incredibly stupid in my opinion. You could have just killed the guy and stuffed him in a suit or something. Like that would have been way more scary to start the movie off. You know what I mean?
Well, like at the end, they have spoilers, by the way. I
If
figured
you
that
haven't
would have
seen
been
it by
given.
this point, then I don't feel sorry for you. Okay, but you're
It's
not
not
missing.
that good of a
Yeah,
watch.
it's not that good of a watch. So trust me, you won't be seeing anything great.
But like at the end, they have this animatronic fight scene anyway. So like realistically, they could have just punched him, and then he would have been dead.
True.
Uh,
Bro has like one
I'm not
HP.
entirely sure what the point of the face destroying machine is. Um,
It's stupid. That's what it is. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why is it there? Like, it's dumb. It's dumb. It's stupid. They serve no purpose. It should kill itself now. All right. There's no point. There's no reason that thing should be there. Like, they should have just had the scene where like the guy gets captured and then he gets stuffed into an animatronic suit or whatever. I don't know. He like blood comes dripping out of the suit or something. And the whole movie could have just been like actually good, but that's my biggest gripe with it is the fact that it's
so I do have a genuine question, and this one might be worth a look up.
hmm,
Is Scott Cawthon like the main writer of this movie, or no? Um,
I'd have to look it up. I'd be very disappointed if he was though.
I think he is. I could be wrong.
Here,
It
did
seems like he would be.
Scott Coffin contribute to the FNAF
Five
movie?
Nights at Freddy's screenplay. Scott Cawthon, Seth Kudbeck, and Emma Tammy. Um, so he was part of it. It was a three-man
Mm,
thing.
he
So
was a
he did
producer and a
technically.
co-writer.
So okay. So, huh? It's weird though, cause like yeah, that was another like weird point. Is it just describing this movie is kind of hard, especially when
It's a movie.
a lot of people really like this movie. There's a lot of people I've seen that like swear up and down like that the movie was amazing. Um, and I mean, like, it's
They're
not
going to.
that bad of a movie if you're not a FNAF fan.
I mean, like I said,
And I
yeah, it's a
feel like it's
movie.
it's funny because like a lot of FNAF fans are the people who are liking the movie,
Yeah, which is
or like
weird.
saying that it's amazing.
It's weird, honestly. It's super weird. Like I can
It's
expect
just like a thing that they like. They're not gonna put any like second thought into, why it has plot holes and is kind of mid story
major,
wise.
yeah, and it's crazy because it's like some people will be like, oh, they followed the lore, they followed the lore. It's like Vanessa's there. What do you mean they followed the lore? What are you talking about?
They followed the lore for the sake of following the lore and not making this like crafting the story um from anything like organic,
Well, if they actually followed the lore, then like Springtrap should be, Springtrap, not William Afton using the Spring Bonnie suit, and then Vanessa shouldn't be there already. So I
Well,
don't. They just kind of just like I don't know. It's
here's my problem, right?
yeah.
In this movie, now I could be wrong, but in this movie, it's implied that William Afton was like very prominent in this restaurant. I don't know if he made the animatronics in this one or what, but like he would know that this spring lock thing is there, right?
Hmm.
And then even more so, literally in a scene before, they demonstrate how the spring lock mechanism works by shoving a stick into it and watching it get ripped like just broken in half, right?
Yep.
So the fact that William doesn't know that, um, the fact that he doesn't know that years after this restaurant's heyday,
Yeah.
is kind of wild.
Yeah.
And doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Major plot hole right there. Major. And first of all, where did that animatronic even come from? Like, what is that thing?
Yeah,
Like, it was just some random animatronic that they use. I don't know. it was weird. But like, yeah, you're right. The spring lock thing, and he ate that. He ate that spring lock attack like crazy.
Yeah, no,
He
like
ate that thing.
I guess it was to be expected because like obviously they don't want like anything too gory, but I
Now,
feel like that demonstration scene implied enough, right?
yeah,
Um, I didn't even have to show the spring lock, just like you know, I don't know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
not
That was
it.
the one
The,
problem I had with the actual like audio for the spring lock suit is
mhm.
that like he's screaming. How would you scream? Your fucking lungs are being like pressed
Punctured.
in
Yeah,
by these little claws, these springs.
yeah, it's crazy. It looks like it just looks like him like when the Taco Bell like shoots down real hard, so you gotta clench your butt cheeks so you don't crap your pants. That's what it looks like.
It reminds me of this one really cheesy, like old newer movie that I believe was called Totally Killer. It just it doesn't feel like it was even trying to be scary.
Totally killer.
And I know that like they're bounded by the PG-13 thing, but I've seen a lot of really scary PG-13. I've seen a lot of really scary PG movies.
Hmm.
You ever seen fucking Coraline?
Yeah, I've seen Coraline. Crazy movie. Thing's wild, bro.
That shit's rated PG.
Yeah, that's crazy. But nice. Don't worry, 7-year-olds can see this.
Yeah, no, it's fucking wild.
Coraline's a banger movie, by the way. Like,
It is, it
what
is.
what is it with like I don't know modern day movies sucking, dude? Like, remember back in the early mid 2000s when movies are like actually good? Like, people remember like things like Coraline and Megamind and
Oh,
movies like
Megamind was
that.
amazing.
Yeah, Megamind was
Love
banger. I
Megamind.
love Megamind. But it's like,
One of like the best like superhero things.
yeah, it's great. And it's like when you make movies movies like Cars, movies like Monsters Inc., like actual memorable movies, people remember that. It's not even just for like nostalgic purposes, because people rewatch them over and over and are like, wow, this
Hmm.
movie's great. And it's
You know,
like,
Megamind and shit, they're still being studied to this day.
yeah, tons of people, tons of video essayists, tons of people in those respective communities still analyzing that movie and stuff and finding things in there. And it's like, the FNAF movies, like, yay. Like,
It's like
I forgot about that quicker than I
I don't
forgot.
even know if I would call it formulaic, but it's definitely not like up there, you know? It doesn't feel like it was created for any other reason than just the fact that it could be a FNAF movie because franchise, you know.
It's a cash grab.
It doesn't
And I'll stand by that. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I firmly believe that the FNAF movie was a cash grab.
and
Especially,
so like it's an okay movie if you're not a fan of FNAF, but
it's a, it's
there's
really
still a lot of
like,
problems with it even like outside of the whole FNAF thing.
yeah, it's just not even scary. Like,
The my big problem was the dream thing. I thought the dreams were like a really weird direction to take that.
yeah, yeah. What would have been really cool is if they did the dreams as like the mini games in in the first game. Like,
Mhm.
if they just pictured those in Michael's dreams or like as dreams, that would be a lot better. But it just felt like they tried to make like their own story. You know what I mean? Rather than kind of go,
Yeah,
based off the actual story of FNAF.
and that can work, but my problem is that I feel like they didn't really let. It's really hard to make an adaptation out of something like this. And I did think of an idea, uh, and not a whole lot of people are gonna like this. And you know, this is just a concept. I don't think I would ever actually attempt to write this, but I did think of like a different pitch for the FNAF movie. As far as premise is concerned, where instead of setting it like in modern times and just visiting this restaurant that's been abandoned and yet somehow still has electricity, uh,
Hmm.
you go back to the 80s and the movie is about William Afton and
Hmm.
sure, this one would probably end up getting rated R, but it would have been a great movie to
Would
see
have been a
the
banger.
state of the animatronics and the state of the restaurant being tied to William's like mental state, you know,
Yeah.
because but like that whole arc is just about him getting crazier and crazier and murdering more and more children.
After the 83 incident.
Hmm. And so he fucking like as he goes progressively crazy and as he like continues like going down this hole of like fucking insanity. And plus, if they wanted to do the whole ghost children thing haunting William, they could have absolutely done that and made it work and like be plausible.
Easily.
Like especially if like William is the only one who can see the ghosts. I feel like
Yeah.
that would have been
Yeah.
a really good that would have been like a really good downfall story. And then a perfect ending to that would have been him getting locked in the Springlock suit.
Yeah.
And becoming Springtrap.
Yeah.
That would have been like a instead of like what they did here, where it's just they have him at the end be in the Springlock suit because I really can't put it any other way than because they just can.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't.
It doesn't really hold a lot of consistency to the rest of the story.
And there was no way you would even get the vibes that he was William Afton. It was kind of just like, I'm William Afton. I'm Springtrap, I guess. And he just
I'm not
kind of.
gonna lie. I didn't even know that it was the guy who was doing the job interview.
You thought
For
it
a
was a
second,
random person.
no, I'm not gonna.
It's a random Joe
I'm
just
not even gonna
walks
lie.
in.
For a second, I honestly thought that it was like the dad, or like the uncle dude.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. No, it's weird because like when he was, because when Afton was talking to Mike in that office at the beginning, um, it seemed like when he figured out like his name was like Michael Afton, I think he seemed like a bit scared, and because like he ordered him coffee, like he was like, "Oh, do you want coffee or something?" Like I don't know, he seemed like a bit his his
As soon
attitude
as he
changed.
reads the word, as soon as he reads the word Schmidt, like
Yeah,
his
Schmidt, my
entire
bad, Schmidt.
persona just
Yeah,
completely swaps.
yeah, and it just goes, and I was like, why did that happen? Like, what? That never went anywhere, honestly.
Hmm.
And like that's like the last
And
time we
so
see him until he pulls up as Afton or
I
Springtrap.
don't know if that was like something they had set up, and like it's a good twist, but it doesn't hold a whole lot of consistency.
There was no build up to
I
it.
also when was, and I could be wrong, I don't know a whole lot about this part of the FNAF lore, but since when was Vanessa Afton's daughter? Because that's the thing, right, in that movie?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
That's like a focal plot point.
I'm not 100%. I can't be 100% sure on this. I think Vanessa is supposed to be more of like a depiction of like Elizabeth but older because Elizabeth has like the same like Elizabeth has blonde hair, green eyes, I think.
Then
Um,
why didn't they just fucking use Elizabeth though?
because she died. She became baby.
Because
She
she
died and
became baby.
she died and became baby. So she would have never been in that scenario.
I don't know. I feel like
The
that was
FNAF
a
lore is so
weird direction
convoluted.
for them.
The FNAF lore is
It is really
so it's kind
convoluted,
of
and especially because like they've been promoting like this new chapter of FNAF, right? Especially after Help Wanted and
hmm
stuff.
yeah,
And I feel like that old chapter is so incredibly convoluted that like a FNAF movie could have like been something to sort of tie the bow on that quote unquote first chapter of
yeah,
FNAF.
yeah.
Something that like really like
Give something to the old
puts
boy.
a conclusion to William Afton's character that feels nice and proper. And so even though it's not in the context of the games, it still makes sense. And
Yeah, yeah.
of course they would never. This movie fails to do that really hard.
Easily, like
Because they put Vanessa in there and it just doesn't work.
yeah, because Vanessa's whole thing was that like she's like a security guard, or it's like she's not like she doesn't have like a ton of skills or whatever, and then she all of a sudden lands a job at the Pizzaplex, um,
Hmm.
from like the higher up because she got a recommendation from the higher up being, um, I think William, and this is I'm all branching this off from matpat's theories. I don't know how accurate his theories are compared to the lore. I know he gets a lot of flack for it.
Well, we do know that MatPat's video has probably seriously influenced the lore of some games.
It
So,
has. Like I'm claiming that as certain. Like there's no way. Dream Theory had to have been the thing that was working. Like that had to be the thing that Scott was going for. Like surely it left some unanswered questions, but I genuinely think Dream Theory was the FNAF story. Like everything was a dream, from the Easter eggs of like the hospital stuff and FNAF
and then
4.
because they figured it out, like they ended up changing it.
Yeah, I think Scott kind of just silently like shifted the story so MatPat couldn't get it right, which I also feel like
Yeah.
led MatPat to like overthink a lot of things, which is why I feel like people don't like his theories.
Yeah, that's why he's got like 300 theory videos in that playlist.
Yeah, and
Just FNAF related things.
yeah, because it's like I think he analyzes it to the best of his ability, and I don't think his theories are really that bad. A lot of people give him flack for it, but I mean, I wouldn't really blame him for overthinking things when it was Scott kind of made
Well,
him.
like if he does like deep down know, if it was really Scott, which is plausible,
Yeah,
like maybe he's just coming up with the most absurd shit so that he doesn't get it right a second time, and that.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Uh,
Okay, keyword, robot. Okay, how can I work from the current game to robot? I gotta get there somehow.
yeah, exactly. Uh, but I mean,
His entire script is just like a ladder to a word.
the very last thing he says before it's just a theory is robot. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think the story is very convoluted, so I can see how it's very difficult to kind of just make something or take the kind of take the lore from that movie, especially since it's like really dark and like brutal.
Hmm.
Um,
And
so
like the movie doesn't even try to not be dark and brutal.
it tries to be entertaining,
It
what makes
tries
me
to be
feel
entertaining as opposed to dark and brutal because
yeah,
PG-13. Okay, well I guess I just contradicted myself there, but you know what I fucking mean, right? Like
yeah,
the
yeah,
premise is still inherently dark. They're still getting kids stuffed in the animatronics, right?
yeah.
Um, and
I mean, you
so
don't really see that. It's just the kids are kind of there. They're not even like you don't even see their dead bodies. You see like their quote unquote ghosts or whatever.
yeah, and then
So
of
it's like,
course like there's the whole
and then
the fucking that was Empo's criticism was that just the fucking it was like I was watching Transformers
yeah,
the animatronics are just so large and Transformer-y.
yeah, true. I
It just doesn't
do,
feel right.
yeah, it doesn't. I do agree with what you were saying on how the FNAF movie should have been, where it should have started in the '80s, because I think let's just get this clear. FNAF at its start was a horror game, and I'm sick of like I understand the new chapter they're trying to get into, but like at its core, it's a horror game, right? FNAF is a horror game.
Hmm.
It's dark, it's brutal, it's gory, it's a horror game. So I really wish they would have just tapped into that and
Yeah, and
made
like they would have lost some numbers. I understand that like part of the reason they're doing this is because of how much of a hold like FNAF has on kids.
yeah,
And so
definitely.
obviously they're gonna like risk having an actually good movie for money.
Yeah.
But I can't help but think that it would have been so much better if they had just leaned super hard into early FNAF. Literally, bro, look at fucking FNAF 3 Springtrap's design.
Yeah.
Just look at it for a second, right? There's no way they're gonna make that concept PG-13. It's not
You
happening.
can't, dude. The dude, you could
Um,
literally see the dude's like decomposing
organs and
body. Yeah,
shit.
his organs,
Yeah.
his head, which is like not even recognizable anymore. It's like, no, that guy is a. It's just like the guy's disgusting. He's just his suit is burnt and like withered and stuff, and it's like, no, there's no way. Like, I understand, I understand Scott's like true vision, but it's just like it's not good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no offense, but it's like I understand your vision, what you want, but it's not it, bro. It's not it. It's like trying to turn. It's like when people try to turn like really like this over fluctuation of mascot horror, where people try to turn like really like kiddish things into scary things and it kind of flops.
Poppy playtime.
Yeah, like Poppy Playtime, right? It's just like you feel so hard at it. I feel like it's kind of this thing where you try to turn this horror thing into something kid friendly, and it's like,
Well, I'm pretty sure FNAF was the one that started mascot horror because of its thing, but they
but it
didn't
did it
do it in
right.
such a like yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they did it right.
they
They
did it
didn't do
right.
it in such this formulaic way, you know.
Yeah,
And like I guess in retrospect, FNAF 1 is not that scary anymore. Um,
it really
but
is like
like
a, it becomes like micromanaging at some point, when like
oh
you're not
yeah,
focused on like how scary it is. You're focused on like it,
especially like as the games go forward with
yeah.
2, 3, 4
But
is probably
but night but the first FNAF has so much charm to it.
it
Like
does.
the
It's got a
first,
lot of atmospheric, feel to it, you know? You
yeah,
fucking load up the game, which was already nominally creepy because you had like the static and
yeah,
the weird flashing bear,
yeah,
and you've got this constant fluorescent buzzing light, and
yeah.
this fucking annoying ass guy on the phone is
Just
telling you how you're
yapping,
gonna die in the next 10 minutes,
just
right?
yapping.
Just absolutely yapping. The citizens of Yapville want their mayor back,
Hello,
phone guy.
hello. It's like, dang, shut up. I'm trying to hear.
You've got the fan, and you can like see the lights and stuff. And
Yup.
then you open the security cameras, and it doesn't get any better.
Nope.
You know.
It's just as bad. And it's like not only that, like the way you play the game too. Like on night one, it's kind of just Bonnie and Chica. Night two, Foxy gets introduced. Night three, Freddy starts coming after you. Night four is kind of like all of them are after you. Then night five is when it gets like really, really creepy with like the phone guy not there anymore, and it's like Freddy saying some weird stuff. And it's like
Hmm.
that's the charm that like makes FNAF FNAF. And even if we don't really recognize it then, we could always like honor it later on. It's like,
Hmm.
and I
Well,
feel like,
that's the whole fucking point of like creating something like that is that you can look back on it later in years and go, wow, okay, maybe this wasn't so bad. You
yeah,
know.
yeah, because like FNAF isn't scary now, but like the first
Because
game,
I guarantee you that nobody's going to be looking at the FNAF movie in like 10 years, right? And be
no,
going,
it's a cash
wow, that
grab.
was so nostalgic because it was such a good movie.
Yeah, no, nobody's doing that. But if they are, they don't truly know FNAF. Like they just don't. So, uh, and it's such a cash grab movie, but the first game, I think the first game out of the whole series is the only one that truly has like a lot of charm in it. Two kind of doesn't. It kind of just feels like, you know, oh, here's a bunch of, uh,
2 is one with no door.
yeah, no door. That's it.
It's like, dude, imagine seeing that shit in like an update log. Nerfed door.
Oh yeah, I removed the doors. But I mean,
And
like,
then 3
it was
has
not
terrible
scary.
gameplay.
Terrible. It was not
But it did
scary.
introduce Springtrap, and so.
The
And then there's
lore,
of
the
course
lore,
4,
very
which
lore
is
heavy, which was what made 3 great, was the lore behind it.
yeah. And then there, of course, there's 4,
Which I
which, in
think was
my
genuinely
opinion,
scary.
is like, in my opinion, 4 was the best because sure, the animatronics are super over designed, especially like with the unnecessary layers of teeth. I
Yeah.
do understand that it's like supposed to be a child's bad dream hallucination, but
Oh,
the way the game works is really good,
very immersive.
and it definitely took advantage of like the audio. And so while atmospherically it's not much, I think it as far as gameplay goes, it's really good.
It's, yeah, especially with the whole switch up when like nobody expected Fredbear to be there, and he just kind of like pulls up at like 4 a.m.
The first night is never usually that bad in any of the
They
games.
gets jump scared instantly,
Yeah.
which is funny. But yeah, FNAF 4 was a pretty good one, which was funny because a lot of people really hated it. I was like, oh, it's not scary. It's not scary. It's like, okay.
Well, I mean, there is the lore though, the weird lore
Yeah,
that they
Lord.
put in that game.
Yeah. Which is funny because it's like, are we ever gonna confirm the bite of 87? Because that never gets confirmed.
No,
That never gets confirmed.
no,
It,
no.
it's like, I thought Foxy bit somebody's head off, and it's like, where'd you get that from?
They literally show it to us, and then later on, Scott was like, "Well, nuh-uh, that was the bite of '83 and not the bite
Oh,
of '87."
no, that was the bite of 83, buddy. But it's just like, okay, well, what happened with the bite of 87? Like, what?
What's the point of that?
Yeah, what was the point of that? Like, you could have just not had that
That
in
personal headcanon FNAF no, FNAF 4 was '87.
there. That's my personal headcanon, too. It had to be. Like, nah.
My personal headcanon is that the FNAF movie is a very deep character study movie and is not terrible and is not mid and is not a cash grab. That's my life headcanon right there,
You
guys.
mean Cope?
Can we just pretend that it was a good movie for
Can
like
we just pretend it was actually really, really, really decent, guys? Come on now. Nah, it's like the Smike of FNAF movies, bro.
fucking. It's weird because like there's been like more FNAF movies that like have been inspired by it, um, and I haven't seen them, but from what I know, they somehow managed to do it better.
Yeah, interestingly enough.
Like the one with Nick Cage, I think it was,
Hmm.
and I've got another one. You know, it's weird. It's weird.
That's where I feel like a lot of the FNAF VHSs are really cool because it really leans into that, early FNAF
Hmm.
thing where it's like the VHSs, the animatronics are like soulless and like very aggressive, and
Hmm.
it's really nice.
Yeah, and then I know like a lot of people really don't like FNAF VHS because something something analog horror oversaturated something or other, and plus because of how analog horror is good when it's done well and it's clever, but like it's so easy to create, so you end up with a lot of generic shit. But there is a lot of really good FNAF VHS shit out there.
Yeah,
And so while I don't think an entire movie needs to be like solely VHS themed, I do think that
that'd be
like
an
they could
interesting
use
way
those
though.
techniques to their advantage,
Yeah,
right?
definitely, definitely.
And they don't, because why would they? Why would they?
Yeah.
Why was this movie made, do you think?
Money. No, so even if you think about it, like the people in like the cameos and stuff, Matt had in there. They were gonna have Mark in there, but that kind of uh,
That flopped because he was making an arguably, probably, hopefully better
not even
movie.
arguably, it's just going to be better. Like,
I'm just gonna enjoy it more anyway. Like it's not gonna matter. Even if it is like a mid movie, I think I'd still enjoy it more.
well, I just know that Markiplier genuinely makes good stuff, and the
Hmm.
stuff he does makes sense, and that he thinks through his things, and even if they take a while to
He
make,
keeps track of what happens.
yep, he keeps track. He
Like,
does.
look at fucking In Space and Heist.
I
There's
love
no
those.
fucking like
Love
that. Like,
those.
look at how many options there are, how many videos there are, how many endings. That shit takes time to keep track of.
Yeah,
Um,
he
so
wrote.
it doesn't feel like there'd be such a like a very, yeah, no.
Yeah,
It feels very connected.
he wrote the entire script for In Space, I think, himself. It was like 300,000 words, I think. But he wrote the entire script himself. And I'm like, that is, like, that's passion, that's effort,
Hmm.
and that's quality. And it's like, that's why I know I'm going to enjoy the Iron Lung movie. Because it's not just, ooh, Iron Lung's popping off. Let's make a movie about it so I can get some quick money. It's, hey,
Well, yeah,
I,
and then now it's not even popping off that hard anymore.
yeah, it's like a year old, I think. Oh, maybe even more.
Well, the Iron Lung at the game is much older than a year, but like the trend is probably a couple years old now.
Yeah. And it's like that's I already know. I already know he's gonna make quality stuff, and it's just like I respect
Yeah.
that. I respect that way more than just, hey, this thing is kind of popping off.
Although we did get the Corey Kenshin
We
cameo,
did get the Corey
which
Kenshin
was kind
cameo.
of weird, but like it's okay. I like that they like actually made him funny.
Yeah,
I think that was the only time I ever actually laughed
yeah,
in this movie.
yeah.
Because there's some like pretty bad Marvel quips in here. I'm not gonna lie.
Definitely, definitely. It's nope, nope, nope. But I mean, I think if I think if FNAF was just like, hey, you got a summer job at FNAF. You know, it's the '80s or whatever. You're a night guard, uh, or maybe tells a story about William or whatnot, and he kills the kids. The kids go missing. They're in the suit. FNAF should really be a TV show, if anything. I
That
think
would
it would,
be a long TV show.
but it would be worth it.
I feel like it could be. Nah, I feel like it could be definitely made into a movie. I feel like that most. Hold on, my cat is like shitting on the stove.
Let's go.
What are you doing?
It's making hot
Yeah.
potatoes.
I'm gonna throw a bottle cap at you.
Dip's cat is currently making hot potatoes on the stove, cooking that dinner. Let's go.
All
Struggling.
right,
Gotta
all
eat
right, all
that
right,
food,
all right,
baby.
all right. My cat is no
Uh,
longer making hot potatoes on the stove.
no, but I mean, I feel like it should be a TV show because of the lore. Because think about it, there's so many perspectives to see it in. You can see through William's perspective. You can see Henry's perspective.
I don't know
Um,
if FNAF is like expansive enough to have a TV show, but I see what you're meaning. If we're gonna have a TV show for anything, it should be SCP. Um,
true.
I've been thinking about that for a while, because I don't think it's ever been confirmed. There's been like a lot of fake posters and stuff, and like a fake trailer. But an SCP TV show, if done correctly, would be really good. Now, when I say correctly, I mean like it finds a way to include all of the different SCP stories and still be faithful to them without actually, doing the FNAF thing and creating its own story that doesn't really naturally flow with the lore, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the best way to do that would be through. You ever seen Love, Death, and Robots?
I have not seen Love, Death, and Robots, but I'm sure our
Okay.
Chinese viewers have seen Love, Death, and Robots. Or 以后会用外国人要说 Chinese.
Wow,
I don't
you're
know.
gonna get canceled on Twitter for that in 10 years. They're gonna
uh,
call you racist.
well, if I spoke African, they wouldn't say that. So
They wouldn't. You're right.
there's your contradiction, Twitter. Not piss off.
So fucking, Love, Death, and Robots is just like each episode is its own story that is separated from. There's no like main character of the show. They might have a protagonist for the episode, and I feel like that the best way to do an SCP TV show, and then maybe by extension FNAF, but I don't think that's ever going to happen now that we have this movie.
Yeah,
The best way to do that would be just having each episode dedicated to a specific
that's
SCP.
literally what I was
Um,
thinking. Like have like an hour long show or like an hour long like episode, and just it be dedicated on a specific SCP. That would be really hype.
hmm Yeah, no, and because like fucking the certain SCPs like are definitely like more expansive than others. There's so many
There's
too.
a
Like
ton.
you could easily like if you had good writers, you could make that show go on for a while and people would still watch it.
Yeah,
Um, it might even do better than Love, Death, and Robots.
yeah,
Um,
probably.
Netflix and their numbers.
How many SCPs are there? I think last time I heard, which was like a long time ago, there was like 1K at that time.
Okay,
There was like a
how
thousand.
many SCPs are there?
I bet it's like 30K.
2023. Over 7,000 SCP objects and
Oh,
articles written by contributors.
well, that's a lot. That's a
That
lot of
is a lot.
SCPs.
The problem with the SCP show, though, and this is, I think I've talked about this too, is that it would be a fucking copyright nightmare.
Oh, easily. Easily.
Because, who do you credit in that scenario? I know that like a lot of these contributors have not actually like posted in a year. Like I'm pretty sure. Think about SCP-173, the first one that anyone ever knew about, the giant fucking peanut, right?
Yeah.
That image is like some weird art project. So not only do you have to find the image or the creator of the image to use that property as an SCP in horror, you also have to find the person who wrote the story, and paid the license that shit from them. So
Yeah.
you've already licensed two things, and then maybe the wiki or like whatever like official thing that SCP had, um,
Mm.
fucking you'd have to license from them. And then every time you had to make an SCP, you'd have to like go through that list. Of shit. And like, who knows if you'll ever actually be able to contact the real writers, right?
Yeah, they could just like have made it, dropped it, and like went on with their life, and you never know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I could definitely see why or
Yeah, it
how
would
that
be
could
so
be.
like it would be so easy to just like make the fucking show and then have them get sued later down the line because they didn't bother with trying to deal with the copyright.
Yeah,
And that's probably why an SCP show will never get made because of just all of those little tiny complications.
there would have to be like like an official like entry thing that they would
Mhm.
have to set up. But then again, it's like at that point, you're not really getting any of like the classic ones, so you won't be able to write
Yeah.
off of that classic wave or that nostalgia wave.
Because like if you're gonna make a show, you need to make an episode about 096 or like
Yeah,
the plague doctor guy
yeah, the
or
plague doctor or the
the
rubber
fucking
ducky.
orange blob.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the orange blob, the one guy who like doesn't like when you look at him.
the
So
fucking the coffee machine, I
the
guess.
coffee machine, yes, there's an SCP coffee machine, folks. Um,
You know the one where he like thinks of a cup of Joe like as in copy, and he types Joe into the machine and like starts shitting out flesh.
yeah, it's funny. Let's go. Cup of Joe is actually Joe who used to work there.
It's actually just like some like just fucking construction worker named Joe.
Because like just a random Joe just dies like from in the world and is just instantly made into like flesh copy.
He just like has a heart attack and he's just like
She's like,
all of his
oh,
organs just
dies.
disappear or something.
Just imagine, dude, just like, ooh, just falls down and just like disappears.
No, I don't even think so. I think he just ragdoll.
Just like Killer Bean ragdoll and then just fade out of existence. And then he's just made into
Killer Bean
coffee.
ragdoll. It's like, dude, the fucking thing about Killer Bean is like those characters are so weighty. They put it in slow motion. It's funny.
Yeah. I love Killer Bean. Killer Bean is a great movie.
It is.
Let me.
It's a weird movie.
It is a weird movie, but it's very, very. It's one of those things that's just like, if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It's free, it's on YouTube, alright? And it's such a banger movie, dude. It's such a banger
It
movie.
is.
Where
I
is.
was honestly surprised, like how well choreographed the fight scenes were for such a premise.
Yeah, honestly, it was really great. Especially for how old the movie is, too. It's like, what, 8 years old, I think?
Is it?
Yeah, it's kind of old. Hold on, let me see.
Killer Bean Forever.
Let me put it in a language you can understand. So sorry. Uh, no one here. No chow mein here. Wrong place.
There's like this one character that can't decide what accent he wants to be. It's like a bad movie, but like it's not bad, you know.
Yeah, like. Wait, is that a video game? It is a
They
video
do
game.
have they do have a video game in the works.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a banger. It's gonna be a banger. But okay, let me check this movie. Where is Killer Bean? Turn on.
I can hear the fucking
I
I
know.
can hear the fucking music.
Okay, hold on. Let me just go to the most popular.
Okay, you know
Yeah, the
what?
full
I'm gonna go to
movie.
YouTube.
It's 5 years old.
Really?
Yeah. But Killer Bean Forever, the entire first scene is 14 years old.
Huh.
So he was working on the movie for a long time and just released it 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Oh wait, there's episode one. Oh, was it strung out in episodes?
it might have
I
been.
think so.
I don't know jack shit about this movie though.
I think this is different. It has to be because this is 3 years old. No, it looks like it's the same thing. The is it Among Us animation of the killer bean dance? That's crazy.
Yeah, no, they've got all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah,
But anyways, this is
but
about
this is about
uh,
the atrocity that is the FNAF movie. But
not like an actually like fun movie. Nah.
but do you see how forgettable FNAF is?
What are we doing?
I mean, do you see how forgettable it is? This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly how forgettable
Yeah,
the
no,
movie
we
is.
literally just completely fucking sidetracked off of that shit.
uh, and see, if the FNAF movie was actually good, we'd be able to sidetrack off of other things with the FNAF movie, but we can't even
Okay,
do
now
that.
here's a question though.
What? What?
How many people who are not fans of Five Nights at Freddy's and don't even know what it is saw the FNAF movie um and forgot about it the second they got in the car after leaving the theater? They put those keys up and it just there's no way. There's no way. Like
Dude,
you don't drive home thinking about it.
yeah, you don't. You don't go, man, that was a
That's
great
all.
movie.
Those are the best movies. When
Yeah.
you drive home, and that's the only thing on your mind. It's just the contents of that movie.
But
And
Rob,
FNAF could have been one of those movies because of how like fucking inherently like deep it becomes. Inherently dark it is.
yeah.
It could have been, and they made fucking Transformers out of it. So here we are.
And
Woohoo!
I
Yeah.
hate how everybody's just eating it up. It's just like, no, it's not. It's this isn't cinema. What are you talking about?
Oh man,
Like
they
this,
do they do eat it up though.
they eat it up like crazy, and it's like,
Yeah, I think you mentioned this when we were talking about it earlier, but like a Minecraft movie, even if it
mhm,
was terrible,
yeah,
which like it would be,
yep, easily.
people would still eat that shit
They
up
would, they
because
would.
it's
It's Minecraft
Minecraft.
because it's Minecraft.
Well, why wouldn't they? You know,
Yeah, and it's like,
even if they actually do get their fucking Jason Momoa pipe dream that they've been talking about, people are still gonna eat that shit up.
yeah, easily, because it's just that's what it is. That's what it is. When you have a memorable video game that actually like had quality in it, you can write off of that nostalgia and make bank. And the new fans are going to be the people who eat it up. I think there are going to be more new fans who ate up the FNAF movie than there were old fans. Like
That might be the situation.
I think true
Because
old
I don't
fans.
think I've seen a whole lot of criticism about the FNAF movie outside of just like people who are not FNAF fans. Ironically,
Yeah, which is funny because I feel like a lot of the older FNAF fans kind of just like went away from it because of the direction it went in. But I would like to wager that most old FNAF fans got sick of it and or don't actually like the movie compared to the new FNAF fans. Or like our age when the game first came out. So
hmm
I mean, you getting it from us, I know we're old, but
why?
the movie's
Why?
terrible. Movie's terrible. It's not good.
It's
Um,
not terrible. I've
as a
seen
movie,
worse.
no, no, no. As a movie, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not talking about
It
that.
works as a movie. It doesn't really work as an adaptation.
Yeah, I'm talking about when it
It's also
following the
just
story and,
it's not a great movie. It's okay.
it's a
We'll put
movie.
it at that. It's okay.
It's a movie.
It's one of the movies of all time.
Yeah, exactly. It is definitely one of the movies of all time. It's a thing, like it exists. You know what I mean?
hmm
But it would have been so great if they could have just because it would have been cool if they could like implement some of like the songs as well into the
Oh
movie as
yeah,
well.
dude.
It would have been nice to do
The
that.
fucking the OG like the OG like fucking FNAF 1 theme song from the Living Tombstone that shit plays in
Yeah,
the credits.
yeah,
I was really hoping that like we'd get a scene of the animatronics like dancing on stage with that song.
Yeah, or like
Um,
they're performing or something like that. That would have been
and
nice.
I guess like the lyrics are questionable, I suppose, but I don't know. It would be
It wouldn't be
cool. It would
accurate
be
to it
cool.
wouldn't be accurate to the story
And plus,
now.
people are gonna eat that shit up anyway. So it's not like it fucking matter.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
like what we're gonna talk about the plot holes.
Nah, but no, I feel like they're gonna. I feel like the second FNAF movie is gonna suck too, just because the first one
They're
did.
making another what?
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Give me a second. I just gotta.
Yeah, they're making a second movie. They're making a FNAF 2. It's probably gonna have the puppet and the toy animatronics.
All right, sorry. I just had to process that for like a second.
Yeah, they're working on a second one. Um,
Why?
because it's gonna ride off the nostalgia of the second game. Just think
I
about
hope
it.
that the second one is better.
It's not. It won't
Um,
be. It won't
it
be.
won't be,
It won't
but
be.
let me cope, okay? Let me cope, okay? Life headcanon. FNAF movie is not bad. They make a second one that's better.
It's not even out yet. The copium is strong with this one. Coping on a movie that ain't even out yet. You know that's
It
mad
has the
cope.
highest copium count I've ever seen. Master Yoda, he is the chosen one.
When he copes about a movie that isn't even out yet, yeah, it's crazy. But no, I know the second one's gonna be trash. And then by the time they get to the third one, they're not gonna know what to do because
I don't even think they'll manage.
it shouldn't get to a third movie. It shouldn't. It shouldn't at all.
Because like if the second movie is just bad enough, then like that shit's gonna tank, and they're not even gonna have the budget for another one.
True, true. Because like, what would you do in the second one? Like, what are you going to explain? Like at that point, you would have to. Because what Spring Trap already gets spring locked. Um,
Hmm.
you know, Michael kind
I
of.
guess they could do the sister location route, but like how? Who's designing these animatronics? Like, there's no. Where would? Yeah, no, that's a really fucking good point. Where would they go? The only like implied location in this story at all is the one, right?
Yeah,
If you
it's
did
FNAF
that
1.
just at a different location, then it would just be the same shit.
And it's funny
And there's
because.
no antagonist anymore, right?
Yup.
Or okay, hear me out. This might be what they do.
Mm,
Vanessa turns evil, and that's the point. Um, that could be what they do, and that definitely is going to be a mid movie because
yeah. You'd have
where the
to
fuck are they going to take that?
skip all the way to Security Breach. And at that point, you missed like so much already.
Yeah, and security breach is like so obviously like uh uh fantasy. Like it's so far into the future,
Yeah,
plausible
sci-fi.
shit. Like
Yeah,
that building is like unrealistically large. No,
yeah, yeah. Meow, 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 meow. But yeah, you would have to skip over so many things.
yeah.
Uh,
Well,
that's
they already
that's
basically do that in this movie anyway.
yeah. They
So
kind that's why they kind of just screwed
they
themselves
would.
over. Yeah, because FNAF 1 is actually like supposed to be a sequel. So going off of that, you're already in a sequel location. So what are you gonna do when when you do the sequel? Unless you made the sequel a prequel.
They nerf the doors. They do exactly what Scott Cawthon did. Just
Yep.
nerf the doors and re-release the game.
Remove doors and add like 10 animatronics. GG. And then that's
Uh,
it.
bank.
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 Money.
Bank off of shit office numbers, but bank anyway.
Yeah, first week will go crazy, but like, I bet that second movie, I bet the second week just was not great for FNAF. Even the third week. That was kind of a trend for movies in 2023, but all in all, folks,
Yeah, they get like mid box office numbers, and then later on they don't. They just they don't get any.
yeah,
Uh,
like, what's a movie from 2023? I can't remember.
yeah, this is what? What are you talking about? 2023?
I mean, other than like Barbieheimer, and then like
Okay, well, yeah, but that one was special. Those were two. Well, to be fair though, those were like two actually good movies though.
True. True. You see what happens when you make something good?
Yeah, see, there you go. They made a whole fucking meme out of it, out of two actually good movies. It's. There you go. You've got a fucking example,
We,
Mr. Scooter Cawthon.
I don't know when people will understand that making quality is the thing that will get you respect, commended, and remembered. I don't know why people don't understand that now. It's like,
Well, I mean, it is definitely easier to pump out slop, but like, look at fucking Marvel, right?
uh
They've been pumping out slop since their Endgame thing ended,
who even saw
and
Marvels? Like, I don't know a
I
single
didn't.
person.
I didn't. I'm gonna watch it on Disney Plus.
I'm not
Um,
gonna watch it at all.
and the first time I cringe, I'm gonna just turn that shit off. If there's like one really annoying quip, it's off. I'm gonna go watch a good movie like Upgrade. Uh,
There's gonna be like a moment where there's like this suit. There's gonna make like a suit. It's gonna be like slightly too feminine. They're gonna be like, oh, I bet a man made this. That's gonna be it. That's the Marvels movie, guys. Yay! Listen,
yeah, I bet they would. I bet they would.
we love empowering a woman. We love women representation, but we love it when it's done right, and not just to cater to a certain, Twitter mob. You know what I mean? So we're not
Yeah,
misogynists. We just
they're very keen on pumping out slop when they could just make an actually. That's why Barbie was successful because like no, not a whole lot of people agree with like the message that movie tries to pump out, but they made
yeah,
like an actual good movie, like a character study movie.
yeah,
And so a lot of people are open to the Barbie movie even if they disagree with that message, right?
yeah,
Which is why Marvel now is so sloppy because they just make mid movies and
yeah.
only go for the message.
Yep. What was the last Marvel movie you saw?
Um, Guardians 3. I
Same.
heard that was like the last good one that they made.
It
And
was, it was,
honestly,
it was pretty good.
Guardians 3 even goes above like old Marvel shit. It's really good. It
It
just
was really
shouldn't be a
good.
Marvel movie.
Yeah,
It's just like James Gunn fever dream.
yeah.
Uh that's all that movie is, and I'm all for it. It's so much more consistent.
It was. I mean, not that game. Sorry, that movie was such a banger.
It was.
But see, that's. I hate slop. I hate low quality. I hate that stuff. We all love quality, all right? We all love quality, and we just hate when things are just, easy money grabs. And I understand, like, Blumhouse is like, they had a low budget or whatever, but
This movie doesn't look like it's low budget though. It looks like they I mean like obviously the animatronics are CGI, but like
I
it
know they
doesn't
built
look
those. They
that
built
bad.
those. They
It
built
actually
those.
looks rather good,
Well,
but like
they built those actually. Those robots, they built
they
those.
built those? They're
Yeah,
real? They're actual why?
yeah, they're real.
Low budget by ass. If they have the budget to build animatronics,
Yeah.
I figured they would have just CGI'd that shit.
Ah, nah, they built those suckers.
Hired some dude on Fiverr. That's what low budget is. Fucking Amazing Bulk is low budget.
Like somebody on Fiverr. Imagine getting a Fiverr promo during the movie.
Dude, imagine like they just like slip a watermark in there.
Just slowly goes like it's like reported on the news. It's like just slowly going across the news bar.
This video was made by username.
Ooh, Fiverr today.
Shit.
Well, I think we've ripped on this movie well enough.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, because it's getting to the end of the episode and we have to do something funny,
Mhm.
which color is Bonnie? What color is Bonnie?
I used to think Bonnie was the color blue, but over time I've learned that he is a bluish purple.
No.
No?
Bonnie is just straight up purple.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, hold
Okay.
on. Let
Well,
me look
you
this
want to
guy up.
know? Here's something that really fucking pisses me off: is that Scott Cawthon said that Bonnie was blue, right? And in the
Hmm.
movie, Bonnie is blue. But in every fucking situation, even when the lighting is normal, Bonnie looks purple. So I'm coping. Bonnie is purple.
He
Fuck
looks.
you.
Uh, he looks. He looks like a bluish purple kind of.
He looks purple. In the movie, he looks blue, but in every other game, like, look at the fucking FNAF poster where, like, they're dancing. I know, like, the lighting is deceptive there, but he looks so purple.
I mean, I'm more talking about his like FNAF 1 render.
He's purple still!
He doesn't look awfully. He doesn't look like blatantly purple. He just doesn't.
What do you
Like,
mean?
I agree, he's purple. He is a purple. I just think he's more of a bluish purple.
No, bro, he is a purple, alright? He is
Withered
got that
Bonnie.
fucking.
Now, Withered Bonnie, on the other hand, that guy's purple. Withered Bonnie's purple. Alright?
See, but that doesn't make any sense. Like, wouldn't they be, like, slightly grayer? Like, it would
Wait.
look a little bit more blue if, like, they're withered.
Well, okay,
They should be
okay.
flopped.
I'm looking at a thumbnail. That's probably why he probably made it more purple. Whoever made this thumbnail, but look at Bonnie's jump scare. He looks like
I'm so mad right
I'm
now.
seeing hints of blue and purple. I'm sorry.
I'm so mad right now, man.
He's a bluish purple.
I can't take it anymore.
He's a purple.
You know what?
He's a purple.
You know what?
He's
You know
purple.
what?
He's purple.
You know what? You're lying to me. You're
I'm
lying
not.
to me.
I'm not
You're
lying.
lying to me.
Dude,
You're lying to me.
look at Rockstar Bonnie. Is that purple? No.
You're lying to me. You're lying to me.
Is Rock
right now.
Look at Rockstar Bonnie.
You're lying to me.
Look
You're
at
like Fry Guy, more like Fry Lie.
I'm not lying.